Alright, so let's do some practice problems on transformations. So we just saw 4 types of transformations, and now we have to identify which transformation has been used in these figures. So here we have this shape. We have to identify which image shows a rotation. Okay, let's look at this. So in option A, I think this has been just reflected under this line. If I consider this line, then in option A, this is just a reflection under this blue line. So I don't think option A is correct. Then in option B, well, first let's look at option C. In option C, if you see carefully, this figure, see the orientation has not changed in option C. It is exactly like this. So it has been shifted 2 units towards the right side, and then it has been shifted up by 3 units. So when it's a case of shifting, then that means this is the case of translation. And this was the case of reflection. So even by elimination, we know that this has to be the case of rotation, but let's look at this. How is this a rotation? So this has been first rotated like this and then like this. So this is the case of rotation. So option B is correct. Alright, let's look at this next problem. Which combination of transformations is shown below? So you see there are 3 figures, 1, 2 and 3, and we have to follow this sequence, 1, 2 and 3. Then we have to identify that from 1 to 2 which transformation is happening, and then from going from 2 to 3 which transformation is happening. So from 1 to 2, this figure has been, it looks like it has been shifted from this point to this point. So this looks like a case of translation, and then it has been shifted down. So first towards left and then towards down. So first, definitely we are seeing translation. And then from 2 to 3, this is the case of reflection around this axis. So first we have translation and then we have reflection. So this option is correct. Next problem, what combination of transformations is shown below? Alright, now let's start with number 1. Now if I see number 1 and number 2, this looks like the case of reflection under this axis. Number 1 and number 2, first reflection is happening. So this option cannot be correct, this option cannot be correct. And then from number 2 to number 3, this figure has been shifted left and then up. So from 2 to 3, it's translation. See, it's the exact same figure. It has been just shifted left by 1, 2, 3, 4 units and then up by 1 unit. So first reflection, then translation. What combination of transformations is shown below? So first we have number 1. From number 1 to number 2, this is definitely the case of translation. It has been shifted up, and then so if it first it's translation, so this cannot be correct and this cannot be correct. And then from 2 to 3 it looks like that the figure has been rotated like this. So then next we have rotation. So translation, then rotation.